What's up, world? Welcome to Fantasy Breakouts. I'm Pat. That's Eric. Today we're going to go through the recap of obviously Week 8 and whatnot. We have some surprising games, but some things that were not so unexpected. But then again, some troubling issues. Jonathan Taylor. But it'll be all right, you know? So, and once again, I just want to start off the episode. If you have questions, do not hit me up. Don't text me. Don't call me. YouTube or Twitter. If you don't have them, you can ask me for that. You know, I'll give you that. But save it for the social media. Right, Eric?
Oh yeah. And we have had a ton of questions. But we did have a few fall through the cracks and get texted to a group chat, and then I get hit up at midnight. Hey man. Hey Rick. If you haven't seen the trade videos, check them out. There's some really good content there with what's going on, and you can just feel the market with some players. Like Josh Jacobs is definitely somebody that people are wanting to move or get right now. There's just a lot of good info in those trade videos. You can really, I think it'll help you in your league if you just go to the comments, check it out. So, but yeah, Pat, go ahead. Sorry.
Definitely, you're all right. So as far as Week 8, the first game obviously was the Falcons and Panthers. Falcons won 25-17. I didn't really see anything I expected. Some notable injuries. Calvin Ridley, obviously. Julio's production is going to go up, but like I told you guys, if Julio doesn't need to practice, and what does he do? He goes out and does Julio things. As far as the other side of the ball, some surprising things. The Panthers, they showed they need Mr. McCaffrey, right?
Yeah, and Mike Davis, I think he had a pretty solid game. He just didn't give us that touchdown that we really needed, 66 yards. I mean, that would have put the game. It would have made us feel better going into the weekend, like you talk about Thursday night, coming away with a little bit too few points, and then you got to think about it for a few days. So that's a little bit what I felt. But yeah, don't drop Mike Davis. I had heard a lot of talk about dropping Mike Davis if you need a spot right now. Hang on to him because they have a really good matchup at Kansas City next week. But otherwise, what do you think about the receivers, Pat? What do you think about that landscape for either team?
You know, DJ Moore was open a lot, and Teddy just didn't go to him. I felt like they made Curtis Samuel a focal point of the offense. But with that being said, I would not be rushing out and spending all money on Curtis Samuel because they use him in a rushing backfield and all this. And you got to think McCaffrey's coming back, slow your roll, all right? We've already seen Curtis Samuel has talent. He's just inconsistent. It depends on when they feel like giving him the ball. So let's move on to Sunday. Now, Bills 24, Patriots 21. This was a very close game. Josh Allen didn't, But when it came down to it, Cam, he did a lot. He looked a lot better, but he lost a fumble at the end, which cost him. So, as a Josh Allen owner, Mr. Eric, how are you feeling about Mr. Allen?
Yeah. Weekly updates with me about Josh Allen every week. He's just looking at that game. I was yelling when Cam fumbled it because I knew they were going to kick that field goal. It was going to go overtime. Josh Allen was going to slam one in overtime. Everybody's happy. We go home with 20-something points. But yeah, I think otherwise with that game, it was pretty ugly. Not a lot of things going right. And then we had the whole Devin Singletary, Zach Moss. Zach Moss gets all the goal line carries. So he's somebody probably worth grabbing again. And we still hate Devin Singletary until further notice.
Well, I don't hate anybody. I just want to say it. They don't use him, and I said the last video to take out Mr. Moss.
Good point.
And moving on, Mr. Eric's Vikings pulled up the upset over the Green Bay Packers. Dalvin, he was clearly healthy. They gave him, 95% of the offense?
Right.
With the Vikings 128 over Packers 22. I don't know. Are we going to expect this kind of random, droughts from the Packers every once in a while? It seems like they get up there and then they got to fall off real quick. Like, they went out, they thought they were good. Same thing with the Bucks game a few weeks back. You think that's going to happen often, or?
If it ends up getting out of control, I don't know if they can play from behind with with their team right now. It's just the Vikings just kind of dominated the line of scrimmage, and even the Packers had Kenny Clark in there, but it just, and our Rockford guy Dean Lowry,
Mr. Lowry.
Yeah, but yeah, they just have such a bad run defense. They can't get behind like that. And we told you, like, yeah, we're downgrading Thielen, but I guess we didn't see this game script with them. Vikings only had to throw 14 times the whole game. So
that's nuts.
That's the Vikings game plan. If they can do that, they'll do that to you. And maybe they got a couple calls at the end, but it's a good game. I guess I didn't hate seeing that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think they kind of, took their foot off the gas at the end of the day. Obviously, if you're a Devontae owner like myself, obviously felt fine. He didn't have the yards, but thank you for the touchdowns. Next game, Chiefs, Jets. Chiefs 35, Jets 9. Mahomes did his thing as expected. I wish defense would have done better. We're just going to keep it moving. Steelers at Ravens. This is a very troubling game as a Lamar Jackson owner. I'm not trading him because I think there's going to be some matchups, but I think there is some weeks that I'm actually going to say, man, I might have to look at the waiver wire based on a matchup, and I never thought that would happen. But, it's just like anybody else you draft at the beginning of the year. They could be your number 1 first-round draft pick. If they're not producing, you can't look for what it was. You got to look for what it is. Keep it moving. As far as the Steelers, I thought their defense is legit. Are you feeling like they're a legit contender all around? Or because this is to this point that people couldn't make the case like they didn't play a tough offense, yada yada yada. But man, all the way around, they find a way to win. How do you feel about the Steelers this year?
Yeah, I think they are better than even what people are saying. They did show some holes. It was kind of wild seeing how many yards the Ravens ran for in the first half. I think they were over like 120 yards in the first half, which they haven't shown that all season. And it was just Dobbins and Edwards running off to the right tackle and just weaving in and out. But they got it under control. They're really good. Yeah, they're for real. But otherwise, we can just be sad about Deontay Johnson and Claypool had a bounce back game, like we said, at least. But Deontay Johnson, I think you had some feelings at the beginning of this before you started recording.
I didn't play him last week. He goes off, right? I played him this week, and not saying it was the best matchup, but did he try to fight somebody? The man can barely stay on the field for 4 quarters, and you're trying to fight somebody? So, Bengals, Titans. Bengals 31 over Titans. It was an upset. But, man, Joe Burrow, he didn't have the best game, but he did what he had to win. He's spreading the ball. A.J. Green got left out, but he got his touches. He got his opportunities. It wasn't his game. I think that we'll see this as it goes on. Gio was productive as usual. Now, Eric, are you dropping Gio?
Not yet. I think he's in the same boat as Mike Davis, where I'm hanging on to him. Look what he's doing. And then it's cool. Like Joe Burrow, it's just really awesome to see. And it's you can't usually start 2 receivers, let alone 3, on the same team. It's ideal. Bengals get a big lead again. We gotta say that again. Just get leads. I would definitely take that first half over for their points. I don't know. Maybe somebody did that. Maybe one person did that after hearing us say it. Pat, what do you have for the Raiders and Browns? 16-6. What do you have for that game?
Well, who got my man's hurt last week? He showed up in a big way this week. Everybody says, "Oh, Baker's a great streaming option." Blah 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 blah. I will never pick you up because of this. You make that offense so inconsistent because of you and your dumb Progressive commercials. That's why I never picked him up. Mm-hmm. You let us down. We thought Kareem Hunt was going to go off. And, some of these people were talking about. Remember how I said last week? I sell for right price. Sell high is what I was getting at, and that's why it's not even his fault. It's Baker's fault. When he does not come to play, good luck. And you can see it right off the jump. Like very first 2 series of the game, if that, maybe one series, like. Next game. But Raiders, like you said earlier, a lot of people are reaching out about Jacobs. Jacobs is going to get his very solid back. Definitely if it has the right price and right situation, I'll definitely take him. But at the same time, it's not like you're going to give up a your top 3, top 4 running backs. Don't do that. If you got them, you keep them. Rams, Dolphins. Dolphins, that was a shocker, right? Dolphins won 28-17 on the Rams, and I don't think it was the biggest Tua game, Eric, but he didn't have to.
Right.
The Dolphins defense, they're for real. Brian Flores is finally getting them to turn it around. I respect him for that, man. It took a while because they're actually relevant. They haven't been relevant in God knows how long. As far as defense, do you think this defense is for real? They somewhat extreme at least, or?
Yeah, I was talking with a few people talking about trading for the Ravens defense, and they have a couple bad matchups coming up. So we were looking, and the Dolphins, not this upcoming week against Arizona, but the next week they go against the Chargers. You could see Herbert making some mistakes. Then they have Denver. Then they have the Jets. Then they have Cincinnati. So if you have somebody that maybe you have an IR spot in your roster, maybe slip somebody into that spot Saturday or Friday or Saturday, and then maybe pick up the Dolphins last minute and get ready for that run. Otherwise, I know some people were starting Tua. I thought that was pretty risky. I would not have done that. They didn't even have to push him too much, but I do want to see this game against Arizona, see what he does. Like, they might be down, so let's see what he does. And he's another one. He can run just as much as Herbert, even more than Burrow. So could be exciting. Let's see what we get from him, and then he gets to ride that run of bad teams just like his defense does. So, So Pat. Otherwise, let's move on to this Colts-Lions game. I don't even want to talk about it, but go ahead. What do you think about that?
I would never think that 3 days ago the Colts would put up 41 points and Jonathan Taylor ended with 5.4. This is great buy low opportunity. I think I'm still high on them just because their schedule, but at the same time they play Baltimore next week. Definitely go after them. Now they're saying there's some ankle injury. I don't know. They're gonna give the man the ball. He has some bad luck. They're gonna give the man the ball. I'm still not going away from that. But notable injury in that game. Kenny G went down. That sucks. I mean, Matthew Stafford had a great game. So did Phillip Rivers. Anyways,
okay.
Now this was a good game. Broncos and Chargers. Broncos came back and won 31-30. Yeah, Locke do his little dance. And it was very surprising. Yeah, Pope was in there. I spoke about Pope a couple weeks ago in a video. I think they're just looking for somebody to take over besides Eckler. I don't think anybody's shown them dominance, and what they're looking for, they haven't shown them, proven to them that they're the guy, or at least 1B type thing. And they're just searching. But for Pope to get, 10, 11 carries?
Yeah, 10 or 11, right.
Interesting. But
yeah, I had to double check. I was like, is this the right team? Am I watching the right game? Is this are you serious? He's in? So they just have maybe one of the worst trio situations along with maybe the Rams right now. They're even worse than the Lions and the Colts, I would say. Not good. But Herbert did what we wanted him to do. Keep it rolling, man. But Pat, go ahead and talk about the Saints and Bears. Let's get into this.
Saints 26, Bears 23. I'm not surprised. They always have some ugly game.
Right.
Barely edging it out. As a Kamara owner, obviously I wanted more, but you can't. I mean, he's going on a pace to beat the reception yard for receiver or a running back. You can't be mad at this man. He's doing the work. He's just not getting touchdowns. We're going to keep moving with that. Next game, Seahawks 37, 49ers 27. Jimmy G's out for a while. Kittle probably a season. It's just going downhill from them. And I would just sit him, and I would expect they already run heavy as it is. And the other guy didn't look all that bad. So I think everybody else will be okay, but he's obviously not long term Mullins. But at the same time, they're going to keep moving with that. It's gonna be awful. Just it's unfortunate. Next game, Cowboys and Eagles. Wentz, somebody commented the other day on Twitter and said that this and this and I. Wentz is this. He's so unpredictable and up and down. I just can't vouch for the man anymore. I don't care what kind of matchup you had. He had 4 turnovers against the Cowboys, bro. Ew. Fulgham, like I said, trade targets for down the season. Fulgham and Rager. I see it. You should see it. Goddard did not have his best welcoming back game. I don't know why, but give him another week. I'm not writing him off at all yet. Now, Buccaneers and Giants. Fortunately, surprisingly, that was a close game. It was a good game to the very end.
Yeah.
Danny Dimes had some clutch moments. How'd you think Danny Dimes looked?
I like seeing Daniel Jones make some plays finally, and you have to give him some credit. That's not the Cowboys defense. That's not the Eagles defense. That's a pretty good defense right there. So, and Slayton, it looks like they are trying to use him and not just shoot him down the field and go for probably a 20-80 ball when Daniel Jones throws it. They're trying to get him in different ways, get him around the field now. So otherwise, yeah, even all three of the main receivers, the Giants look good. So I look at Daniel Jones. If I really need somebody, or if you're in a 2-quarterback league, you can start him in a few good matchups, and that's about it. And then, yeah, the other thing is just like Tom Brady is a kicker's like best friend. Like, this man just takes care of the ball. He'll get you to the 30, take a couple shots. Okay, kick that thing in, buddy. But I think Suckup's got to be up there. If he's available, grab him. It looks like Brady's moving the ball really well with the team now, and they're in sync and everything. So they're looking really like a strong team, but a little closer than expected tonight. But yeah, Pat, why don't you kick us off with waiver information?
Just want to make some notes. Week 9, got some buys this week. The Rams, the Browns, the Bengals, and the Eagles. All right. Now, as far as some waiver claims, how much are you going in as far as Curtis Samuel?
Basically, if we know we don't have McCaffrey, if we can find that out before waivers clear, well, that would be ideal, because it looks like they want to get him the run, get him a lot of handoffs, get him the ball without McCaffrey. I think that was what we saw from the Falcons. So I go a little bit higher if we can get some kind of clarification on that. If we can't, then I'm in the $5 range or so on Curtis Samuel. And you just listed off the bye teams: the Rams, the Browns, the Bengals, the Eagles. How many receivers are right there? Those are some receiver heavy teams right there. So yeah, I think even $5 on Curtis Samuel is fair. They're giving him rush attempts quite a bit. Otherwise, Pat, who do you think you'd go with if you want a receiver? With that being said,
I'm still higher on Rager. If he's available, go get him. I know he's on a bye, but if you guys have that luxury, go ahead. Now, when Kenny Galladay went down, take note, Marvin Hall, he got some looks. I think he led them in receptions and whatnot. It'd be a great pickup for those losing Kenny Galladay. As far as receivers, that's about it. Now, running backs, Mr. Eric, how you feeling?
Yeah, I think Damian Harris showed that he's going to get the important looks. He's going to be the guy driving the ball down the field for the Patriots, if anybody will be. So he's available in about half of leagues right now. He just went over 100 yards again. If you need a RB, especially this week, I'd go $10 to $12 on him, and that's definitely somebody I'd burn a waiver claim on if you're hurting him that way. We have Jermichael Hasty, not Jermichael Finley. For the 49ers, he's
the same guy,
right behind
little brother.
Yeah, little brother. He's right behind Harris. I'd go a few bucks less on Jermichael Hasty, because McKinnon's got this tired leg. He's like a pitcher. He's got tired leg instead of tired arm, like a pitcher.
I can't even go in depth with what that even means.
Right. I think I said that.
He just set out. How long did he sit out? For 2 years, basically.
Right.
He left the Vikings, got that big contract, got hurt before the training camp, during the first couple weeks of training camp. Just now is playing this year, but you got tired legs.
Yeah, he can't simulate it in rehab, but still, Jermichael Hasty's worth. That's why he's worth some few bucks there. Otherwise, Gus Edwards, he could be available. I think he's more owned, but check out for him. About the same. I go about the same with him with his situation. Otherwise, just because Jonathan Taylor little banged up, we don't know that 100% for sure, but I go Jordan Wilkins, few bucks if you don't want to spend up on any of those guys, or maybe you can grab them in the morning after waivers clear. But I'm not completely opposed to that, just because I do not feel like that it's Jonathan Taylor is completely out of the picture. But in the meantime, let's use a crutch real quick. But at the same time,
I'm not burning a waiver on Jordan Wilkins because of their next matchup. So obviously, if you're thirsty, you need somebody, yes, but don't burn your number one waiver claim on Jordan Wilkins. Might not even play. They're playing to Baltimore. Must I say more?
Yeah.
And I spoke of Gus Edwards a few weeks back. The Ravens they trust this guy. He does not go away. They give him the goal line looks and all that type of stuff. Dobbins had a phenomenal game. He just needed the opportunity, right? And I commented earlier on somebody they said they would trade Dobbins away because of his terrible schedule. Look at his last 2 weeks of the fantasy playoffs. If your team right now is set up for the playoffs, what do you need? 8 wins usually, Eric? You would say?
Yeah, seven.
Worst case, let's say bank on 8.
Yeah, 8 for sure.
You could sacrifice. You can go 0-4 in the middle weeks if your team is set up to win in the playoffs. Who cares? You are setting up to win the playoffs. So if you gotta sacrifice, that big deal. Who cares? Now, as far as the tight ends, obviously Trey Burton did his thing that last week again, the Colts. But I don't know. They just use him a lot of ways. He's very athletic. I get it. But if you need a tight end, obviously go after him. Now, as far as the backups for San Fran, I'd say go after Jordan Reed while he's healthy. You'll get 2-3 weeks out of him. Then Rosward Dwelly. I threw in a word. I feel like he's a Rosward Dwelly the fourth. I'm letting that pan out. I'm letting that play out, to be honest. So, now as far as defenses, what are you looking for as defenses this week, Eric?
Yeah, this week is a little bit tricky. I think the consensus is Washington going against Daniel Jones. They didn't really have they played in Washington last time, and they didn't really put up the points. I think they only had 1 sack, but they just annihilated Dallas. So I think people are banking on Washington coming out and doing that again.
Keep in mind, they didn't have Buddy either playing that day.
Oh, okay. Chase.
Remember, he got hurt like the second week or so. He was out a few weeks, but they did not have him. Going into the season, you're very high on him because of that man. That man he's about to get paid. He moves people. And with that, it took, when you got a pass rusher, obviously it's evident how much they pay them in the NFL. That makes the biggest difference in the defense. So I'm definitely vouching. I got them in the league. Picked them up a couple weeks ago.
Look at who's injured for sure. That's smart. And then, Tennessee against the Bears. They're going to be in Tennessee. They have the lowest over-under that's posted right now. They're about 50% owned. So that's another option. I'm probably going to go with that one. Sorry about the Packers, but not sorry about the Packers last week.
Are you playing the Packers defense this week?
No, I'm saying like last week I told you to get the Packers, but who saw that?
Nobody ever. Interesting. If you guys, once again, like we talked about with Dobbins, same thing with defenses, man. If you see a defense that's out there that could, lock some things up, even if they got bad next 2 week matchups, they got terrible matchups the next couple weeks. If you see somebody that can lock somebody up 4 through 8 away, maybe that's a little too much, but you get my point. You go get them. If you got the space, go get them. Defense can win you championships. Easy. Now, I have Kansas City in a couple leagues. They could have did a lot better last week. But I still have a lot of faith in them. It is what it is. But, yeah, just make those moves, man. You always got to see the future before it's too late. And some people get salty about it. But, sorry. I don't remember second place. Does anybody remember second place? You got to keep it moving. And if for those of you guys getting offended by some moves that some people make, it's just business. All right? It's just business. We're cool at the end of the day, but, unfortunately, you might be in their way of the finish line. Mm-hmm. So, next video, let's do this. We will answer your responses and your questions, scenarios, if you like and subscribe. Okay? How's that sound, Eric?
Yeah, we'll pick a couple. Show us that you've liked and subscribed, and if you really want to be on there, show us proof that you shared it either on Facebook or Twitter. You shared the shared what? Shared what? I forgot to think about it. Oh, if you like and subscribe, and then send proof that you shared our video on either your Twitter or your Facebook, we're putting you in the next video. You're going to be the next Vince Sanchez. You'll be right on there. So, yeah, down here. Yeah, where is it, Pat? There. Click that. Subscribe. We'll keep answering 70 questions a day. And anyway, but Pat, yeah. But no, we like it. We have a lot of fun.
You definitely got our brains going and whatnot. Keep the questions rolling. Keep them coming. We will have another trade video and whatnot coming out in a couple days. So obviously, always stay tuned. We're gonna have the material. We're gonna have the quality. So without further ado, deuces. Till next time.